Hey everybody, today Rahdo runs down a prototype of Thieves Den, which is a card drafting worker placement style game where 2 to 5 players are master thieves setting their minions out into the night to get as much treasure as they can. And the way it works is at the beginning of each of the 3 rounds, everybody gets a starting hand of 4 location cards dealt to them. So let's say we ended up in this 2-player game with 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, and now players go through a fairly typical card draft. Think Seven Wonders, think Sushi Go, and you've got the idea. Now, these are potential locations that I or my opponent can loot to get treasure, like rubies or tomes or artifacts or potions or all kinds of things. And when I'm looking at these, I have to pick one to keep for myself, and then the remainder I'll have to give to my opponent, at which point they'll pick one, etc., etc. Now, which of these do I choose? The bank, the sepulchre, the basilica, or the lake house? Well, I might want to check my secret scheme card. In this game, I get 2 points for every set of castle and town cards, or city and town cards. So strictly speaking, I'm liking this bank because it's a city card. And in fact, actually, these other 3, these are not particularly interesting to me. So I'll keep the bank for myself and hand the rest over to my opponent. And meanwhile, my opponent is looking at theirs. I don't even know what their scheme is. Alrighty. And they will pick for themselves this location and hand the rest to me. And now, before we go on, everybody reveals what they've kept aside. I kept the bank. Now, the bank is an instant action. As soon as I cased this joint, because that's what we're doing at the beginning, we are scouting locations. As soon as I scouted this place, I just went in and stole a gem right away. So boom, one of the gems in this bank have been stolen by me, and I put them in one of my 8 slots to store treasure. And I store this face down, because remember, at the end of the game, this is this is worth a point to me if I can get a matching town location under my belt as well. So anyway, that's what I revealed. Jen, meanwhile, revealed she took a hideout, which was also an instant that instantly gave her 3 more thieves. At the beginning of the game, everybody started with 3, but now Jen's got 6. So when we get to the worker portion phase, the thieving phase, she's going to get to do twice as many actions as me for this hideout. Plus, she kept this dark tower, this evil place for herself. Is this the type of area that she wants? So anyway, she keeps that. Now we keep on drafting, and let's see, of these remaining ones, none of them are instant actions. So these all are worker placement phases. Once we get into the thieving phase, any player can send their worker thieves out to steal and, get whatever there's got coming. Now, of these places, hey, it's another castle. I'll keep this for myself and hand the rest over to Jen. She will keep, this one, and then hand the rest over to me. We reveal, and now this time, hey, it's the market and the sepulchre. We both keep these. These are face up as worker placement spots. This one is my worker placement spot. This is my opponent's worker placement spot. Over the course of the game, multiple players will have worker placement spots available to them. And then we keep on drafting until we have just one more card that we haven't taken. Let's say for my 3rd card, I ended up getting the Bone Pit, and for Jen's 3rd card, she ended up getting in the draft the Basilica. Right, and with more than 2 players, the remaining cards are just out of the game, but in a 2-player game, the remaining cards go to kind of a neutral player. So, right now, as we leave the scouting phase and move into the thieving phase, there is the market, the bone pit, the monastery, the lake house, the basilica, and the sepulchre available for us to be thieving. Now, I am the first player, so I'm going to be the first out of the gate with one of my 3 workers to go and rob any of these places. Now, here's the deal. If I come to my own place, hey, I just get the reward, that's it, and then I claim this location. Remember, I love castles. I claim it I do that at the end of the round, so I'll have that. So I could do this and get some rubies to join the 1 ruby I've already got. That might be kind of handy, because if I look over here, there's a fence. There are 6 fences out at all time who want these things, and we'll let you convert them into points. 2 rubies and a potion and a tome of knowledge will get me 14 points. So sending my work over here to get some more rubies is pretty good. But Jen's Basilica is pretty attractive too, because hey, it gets me a ruby and a potion and a tome. Wow. As much as I'd like to go my own, I think I'm going to go visit Jen's neck of the woods. She scouted this basilica, but I was the first player, and so I got to rob it. That means I get a tome and a ruby and a potion. And as you can see, I've got up to 8 spaces I could store my treasures in. Alrighty, and that's exactly what this fence needs. Now here's the problem. Because I've gone into Jen's neck of the woods, she gets a little something as well. She, on my turn, ended up getting a ruby of her own. Plus, I have now given her a worker. At the end of the round, during the cleanup phase, any thieves, any minions that are on your cards that you scouted, they come back to your supply. So now I've got less workers in the future and Jen's got more, but it's worth it to snag that sweet 14 points right there. So that was me, my first turn, and now Jen's turn, she's up, and she's got all these workers. What is she gonna do? Well, she's got all these different people to take care of. But you know what? It's not just your workers that you send out to rob all these locations that have been scouted. You can also go into the city and do certain actions as well by spending the resources you've already got. Like Jen just got this ruby on my turn. Jen could just go sell it to the old witch and score 3 points because maybe she's not planning, if she can see I'm going to do this. So she knows she can't get that. And maybe she doesn't care about this or this one. And so she just wants to get this sold really quick because otherwise it's just taking up space over there. Or she could use this ruby to go and get any of these 3 cool special powers. This would not be a good one for her to get right now because, hey, it gives her 3 more workers. She's already got all 6 of her seats full. So, but man, she could go do this anyway just to prevent me from getting, because I've only got 2 workers left. Jen figures I'm probably going to want to come over here. If she comes over here, while she doesn't have any room to take them, it'll still prevent me from getting them. But on the other hand, she's giving up a ruby, which is worth at least 3 points if she sold it to the witch over there. What is she going to do? Well, again, like me, she could go stealing and start collecting goods so she could take them to fences to get points. Or, like I said, she could use the treasure she's already got over here to get special powers. And there's a whole bunch of special powers. Every time you set the game up, there's going to be 3 stacks of 3. These are the 3 that are in the first round. In the second round, we've got these ones. And in the third round, we've got these ones. A whole bunch of big game-changing things, including being able to steal stuff from each other and change the rules of the game up. But also, if you're low on minions and you want to get some more, you can spend 2 resources to come over here to turn them into another minion. On the flip side, if you got more minions than you know what to do with, like Jen, right off the bat, she's got so many minions, she might send 2 minions over here into town to steal one of any good she wants because she's trying to get a specific good. And we continue like this. We go through 3 phases of scouting, which is the draft, then thieving, which is the worker placement or treasure placement, and then we clean up, which is to say there are always in Thieves Den very, very limited resources. This is a fixed pool, and so stuff that was sold to the witch ends up coming back over here, but during the round that stuff is not available to anybody. Like say on my next turn I go and visit this fence because I want to grab and I score my 14 points. To do this though, I've tied up all these resources and one of my thieves, and at the end of the round, they're all going to be gone. So before I do that, I definitely want to make sure I spend one of my resources, probably the cheap potions. They're the weakest, so I could come over here to get the last 3 thieves that are in the forest. And now you can see there are no more thieves in the forest to be had. Things tighten up really, really quickly in Thieves Den as we go through 3 days and nights of scouting and thieving in this interesting mashup of worker placement and card drafting and a little bit of set collection. It's very sharp. Jen and I have enjoyed it. It's definitely on the light side. This is really kind of a nice introduction, kind of a gateway plus into the world of worker placement and into the world of card drafting. I have to say the prototype I've got only comes with 11 of these. I'd love to see a lot more powers just to mix up what's available to you from game to game. But even with what's here, there is enough for this to be a fun little experience, very fast, very quick. I would certainly play this over a Sushi Go or some other really light gateway style card drafting because there's so much more going on. The constant vying for getting, maintaining control over the very limited resources is a big key to victory. And one thing I do have to warn you about going in, it is Thieves Den, and while on the surface all these thieves play friendly, and hey, yo, if I go and steal in Jen's backyard, she gets reward, there are plenty of special powers and actions that you will be able to use to stick it to your opponent, to steal stuff right out of their back pocket and stuff like that too. And so that's something to bear in mind going in to this very sharp, fun little card drafting worker placement game, Thieves Den. And that's the rundown, folks. Have a very nice day. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. So long. Bye-bye.